I am shocked that we have not done a film theory on the dark lore of Thomas the Tank Engine. And if ever there was a time to do that, now is that time. Clearly the villain is Thomas the Tank Engine, I think. The hero is the villain? I don't know. The trains always bothered me.
Explain.
I don't know, like, they were always getting into mischief. It seemed like there was a stigma against the trains that were running on time and doing their job.
Right.
And all the trains that were like, woo, I'm just gonna have fun in my turnstiles and this and that. Those were like the heroes of the show. And I'm like, no, they're trains. Do your job. Transport passengers. Port cargo from point A to point B. None of this like, woo, I'm going off the... No, calm down. Stop pushing each other off the tracks. There is dire consequences. The lack of care that Thomas the Tank Engine and friends show for knocking trains off of tracks is alarming, because that is incredibly dangerous and horrifically unsafe and awful for the efficiency of the transportation system in that universe.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it in a long time, but man.
Maybe we can connect it to the supply chain issues of the time.
Oh, I like it. Also, there's like, I remember there was one where like boxcars or something get crushed. Like they pull a prank and then all of a sudden a bunch of like sentient living boxcars get crushed. And you're like, that is a living thing that just got killed. And their faces are like, ah! You're like, oh my God, this is horrific. This universe is terrifying. And then if you're watching the Shining Time Station version of it, where there's like also the meta story where they all just live and work inside of a train station, I feel like that also has its own separate set of issues, because he had Schemer, who I remember had this like curly bit of hair that was always on his forehead. I don't know where Shining Time Station begins and like Thomas the Tank Engine ends. You know, like they were always fused together when I watched them on PBS, but I know that they're two separate entities to some extent. Anyway, that was the real life humans, which kind of segue. It's similar to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, where there was like, here was the framing story, and then here's the like fiction land with the trains and stuff.